McNally.
Hey. Gosh, that introduction was actually worth all the grief he usually gives me. You know, this guy. Anyway, all right. So, the title of this is Portraits with an Edge. Okay, that can kind of classify as almost any kind of portrait, maybe, I don't know, maybe not an umbrella with a fill, that would be maybe not an edge, but we'll see what we can do here to craft a couple of pictures that maybe have a slight bit of difference from quote unquote normal portrait. We'll start in the realm of kind of straightforward. There's a seat right over there too. Oh, here, no, you can sit right here. That's fantastic. Okay, all right, so, yeah, that's where we'll get started. We are blessed. Stephanie Andujar is with us today. And I've worked with her before, and she's absolutely lovely. And she's lovely inside and out, okay? And we had a great time when we worked before. And I asked Teresa here at Adorama, I said, hey, call up Stephanie. So thank you for doing that. And thank you to all the folks at Adorama who kind of put this together, create the store, create the feeling of this store, which I'm very involved with. My wife used to work here. Okay, so I have history with the store. And thanks to this guy, okay, because he created this space. This was an empty shell. And he just took his technical knowledge and abilities and created this, which has been a conduit, a bridge for lots of folks to come here and learn about photography. So that's a very honorable intent. And here we are. Okay. So again, I thank all of you for taking time out of your day and walking through the heat and coming down. So let's get started.
Really quick, talk about this.
Okay. Yeah, there is a QR code. I'll just repeat myself a little bit. Please take a picture of it. It'll bring you to a site called Better Pictures with Joe, where it is all about photography all the time, support, interaction, and commentary, lessons, assignments, back and forth, critiques. It's just a wonderful, it's become a wonderfully supportive site for photographers. And let's face it, folks, photographers, we need as much support as we possibly can get. Does the world line up for photographers? Does everybody just get and do what we tell them to do? That happened to me once. It was in the late 80s. It was amazing, you know? No, that doesn't really happen. We have to, the playing field is oftentimes tilted against us. So what I try to do during these demos is give you a few tools, a few things, hints, this and that, approaches that can maybe help you tilt that playing field back in your direction. Okay? We good? All right, Stephanie, please, if you would. All right. There we go. So I guess you could say I cheated a little bit because I did a couple of test shots. Usually I don't do that. I don't do any testing before I mean, I'm a big fan of jumping off the diving board without even looking down to see if there's water in the pool. So I had Stephanie here. I said, oh, well, let's just stop, you know, give a couple of ballpark guesses. And it turned out reasonably well. So, thank you. Yeah, no. So yeah, appreciate it. Thanks. We're done. You know, it's not going to get better than that. No, we'll have a good time, and I'm going to turn her towards the audience. We're going to use some gels. We're going to have a little bit of color play in the background, this and that. But let's start off and keep it kind of simple. All right, a one light portrait. Anybody can do this, literally. Okay. All right. So one of the things, let me just do this for a second. One of the things that I do fairly religiously when I'm working in an environment like this, not that there's anything wrong with it, but one of the things I do, and if you've been in class with me before, you know what I do is I blind the chip, right? I use shutter speed f-stop to basically make Stephanie disappear, okay? I have just stolen her soul. So, no, my shutter speed f-stop combination is 640 at 5.6 manual, okay? And what have I done here? Created a black frame, right? So what does the black frame give me? Control, right? Nothing is going to hit that chip unless I light it. There's another chair up here, way up in the front here on this side. Anybody wanted to slide up this way? So it's not always the way you want to go, but it is oftentimes a fortuitous start because we are oftentimes sent to photograph in places that we really, either the light isn't any good, the environment stinks, you know, so we are striving to say, okay, let's get rid of that. Let's wipe the slate clean. And anything that I do now with my camera is a build from the very first exposure, okay? So I have a rough idea where I'm going to be here. And I'm pretty informal about this stuff, you might have guessed. I'm pretty easy about questions. Stop me, you know, if you want. All in that, I'm going to repeat your question because we are, as Seth has said, we are live. Okay, are we doing okay here?
They're just asking on camera, lens, what are you doing?
Okay, let me give basics. This is a ProPhoto Connect Pro. This is a radio that's going to relate to this light. I shut it off to achieve that black frame. My camera is a Z9. I'm shooting a 35mm f1.2. It's a relatively new lens in the Nikon lineup. I was happy last year. I shot actually part of the marketing campaign and fell in love with the lens and the speed of it, the sharpness of it, etc. Okay, so that's the basics. Tether tools cable into my computer, capture one, ingesting the images, and then whatever magic Seth is doing over here, I have no idea what any of that is. None. Okay, all right. So we'll turn this back on. And I'm pretty well maxed on the strobe. This is a ProPhoto B30 up in here. Okay, all right. So Stephanie, you look routinely lovely. Beautiful. Okay. All right. So little on the bright side of things. Okay. That's, you know, perhaps I bumped this. I originally had it programmed. Let's take a stop out of it. Okay. Much better exposure. I made an adjustment, a fingertip adjustment at the camera. I need a minute more because that was really exhausting. No, God, it's so freaking easy now. When I say easy, I mean technically. The tools that we have are astonishing. You know, I used to have to run over to her with a light meter, you know, or something, and I'd have a power pack that was like a cinder block with dials, you know. So much development, so much tech has come our way. There was a question. There is a grid. Good question. Good question. There's a grid. The grid, the honeycomb grid in this is just kind of columnating the light, making sure that that gray, well, actually it's black background now, that it just stays that way, right? I'm not having a lot of light spill. It gives me a good amount of control, okay? So reasonable first exposure, okay? Now, let's try this. All right. I've done this before. It's okay. Okay. Outside of my hand in the picture, it's actually, the light is pretty nice. Okay, Sam Hagler, please come up here. You didn't think you were going to get away with sitting in the front seat. Do exactly what I did from over in the side there, please. All right, you can be right here, Sam. Yep, and then careful of her face, please. Not like that, not like that. We're going to go like that, and you can support it with both hands. We're going to slide it up in here, okay? All right, and Sam, we're going to take your hand and put it up in here. Take this hand. There we go, there we go. Nice job, nice job, okay? I mean, what do you expect with somebody out of the crowd, right? Anyway, okay, cool. Thank you, Sam.
Are you sure you're done?
Yeah, I'm done. Yeah, but you're done as well. Okay. All right. Sam and I go way back. So there's an interesting way I can approach this now and kind of get rid of some of that stuff. Is anybody here fond of square format? I just switched into square format. So some of that extra stuff that I was kind of dealing with there, okay, we gained a little exposure back because there's no diffuser, okay? Let's see. Let's try this. Little lift, right? Tiny little lift. You can see there's shadows under her chin. They open just a little bit, just a little bit. Yes?
What speed is your stroke set for on your remote?
Speed. The power level is,
I'm sorry, yeah.
the power level is 8.0 out of the Pro Photo scale of 10.0. 10.0 on a B30 is 500 watt seconds, right? That's full boat, full power. So just to go through a couple of basics here. At 10.0, if I'm at 500 watt seconds, what am I at 9.0? 250. It's either half the light or twice the light. And that's the scale that you run through. So when you get down to like 1.0, you're actually working with a very minimal amount of light. And hence, that scale gives you a lot of control, tremendous amount of control. Okay. Seth, I'm going to ask you, can you leave the machine for a second?
Yeah. So
All right. I'm just going to ask you to hold the diffuser for me, please.
if you want to grip it, I can throw it on a stand.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, that would be great. I don't want to waste too much time, though. We only got an hour, so I'm going to move as fast.
Just a shot, I'll hold it back.
Yeah, just a shot.
Where did it go?
It's over here. There you
Is that
go.
bothering you, right?
All right. Your hand's going to be in the middle there. Nice. Cool, cool, cool. Stay with me. Stay with me. All right. So what I do, I lost a stop. So 8.0 goes back up to 9.0. Here we go. Nice, nice, nice. Beautiful. Okay. And then I come in here with this. Fingers. There we go. Good, good, good. Nice. And that's a pretty shot. You know, you're going to get a little bleaching up in here. The projection is a bit of the issue. It's going to augment that, but it's really quite lovely. The diffuser just warms that light up, spreads it a little bit, moves it around. Okay, let's get more complex. All right, you didn't come here to watch me use one light and do something that you could do. Oh, that was awesome.
Yeah, but now it's going to get hot.
All right.
It's weird. It's like the air. It's like the washing machine shuts off and your brain gets all weird.
I was just thinking, did we just have a power outage? But no, we'll be all right. We'll be all right.
For those of you in the stream, the air conditioner just shut off because I know you can't hear it.
All right.
Should be all right. Yeah, your hands all right?
I could do the other strip if you wouldn't mind. 2C. Whoops.
And I moved just in time. Look at
You
that.
did. You did.
What do you want to do?
She definitely did. I think she saw me gravitating towards this light and instinctively saved her own life.
I felt it.
Doing arching like that?
Yeah, just let's see if you can match this. And we'll put Stephanie right in here. Let me just see. Now, in a studio, if I'm using, step forward, please. Come forward. Okay, cool. Right about there. All right. Yeah, see what Seth just did? In a studio, I'll actually map it out on the floor. I'll do an angle. I'll do, a tape measure, etc. Because that's, if you want matching, side lights, that's a good thing to do. All righty. So we're going to go back to a harder version of the overhead light.
You want a 2C?
Yeah, I think they're both 2C, are they not?
No, one's the. Oh, okay. Yeah.
2C?
They're both 2C.
Okay.
His head's off though.
Did you put it on?
I think it's due from the road, no?
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Come on, Joe. Your first day, Joe.
All right, so those lights, let me tone them down a little bit. We'll start those lights off at 6.0. Gonna have to wing them out a little bit. They're in the frame, but let's just see what happens. Okay, so let's wing them out just a little bit, but the beginnings of something relatively interesting is happening. And that's it. You know, you find power in your mistakes, quote unquote. Not that this is necessarily a mistake, it's a progress report, right? So I got too much power on those side lights, and they're a little bit not positioned properly. Okay, so let me come in here a little bit. Now this 35 lens, okay, I really love the lens, and I have designs for it for the rest of the evening. So I'm using it now, but also please be aware, I'm getting a little close to her for comfort with a 35mm lens. There could be the possibility of a little distortion. I'm gonna try to keep that under control. If I have to, I'm gonna back up with an 85.
What is going on
Okay.
here?
All right, here we go.
There's some questions in the chat.
Cool, beautiful. All right, all right. So let me tone it down just a little bit. Let me do this. All right. Now, if you have the lights in a nice ratio, you're feeling pretty good about the lights, what's a universal you can do? You can do a universal on the Pro Connect, just bring them all up and down. Or is anybody, you know, you probably do, I'm telling you stuff you already know, bracket your ISO. Okay, I have no fear anymore of ISO 200, 400, 800, 1000. I mean, the ISO that we have been gifted is astonishing. So I just went from ISO 400 to ISO 200, one stop. Beautiful. Absolutely lovely. Okay, and let's just actually get a clean frame here.
You got a question in the chat.
Okay, what's the question?
Why are you choosing strobes instead of constant light?
Okay. I've been using strobes my whole life. No, anyway.
What are you doing?
No, that's an increasingly popular question or option, really. Continuous light, LEDs, very sophisticated. They've gotten really super powerful, and they can dial in color, and it's a wonderful, wonderful thing. In a situation like this, I'm going to prefer to use flash because I can really just craft something. What you saw, what I did the very first frame there, okay, when I got a black screen, okay, with no exposure, then all of a sudden I can take these lights and I can jump to F16 if I want to. And if I control them properly, I still retain the blackness of the environment. The LEDs, say I wanted Stephanie to say, toss her hair. Not possible right now. Okay, but say if I wanted her to move, okay, LEDs would not be my choice. They've got, if you will, here's the thing. Flash gives you almost like a second shutter speed, if you think of it that way. Okay, I'm at 6/40th of a second. The flashes do not care. The flashes are firing at 1,000, 1,500, whatever they might be firing at, irrespective of your shutter speed. So hence, if you want to engage in a technique that would be roughly called, say, flash and blur, where you're trying to indicate motion in a still photograph, which is an essential conundrum, because you have I realize they're hybrid cameras, we can do video, but in the still realm, you oftentimes are trying to show the world in motion. And flash mixed with natural light is a powerful way to do that. LED is a little bit harder because the flash achieves a certain core sharpness to your photograph. Is that a reasonable reply?
Do you want me to prove every answer you give tonight?
Well, you yelled at me. You yelled at me.
You're yelling into the mic, man. Come on, come on, get moved. Let's go.
All right.
Come on, let's go.
Okay, here we go. All right, quick thing. Okay, pretty nice, pretty nice. All right, so now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go, and the reason I'm using this lens is because of its wide open capacity. And another one, Stephanie, here we go. All right, whew, 1.2, right? 1.2, just nuke the whole scene, right? So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go up in my shutter speed. And also, too, what you can do, because I have an environment that has some light in it now, okay, take this off just to be Let's just see here.
You got a few flash.
Okay, not quite. That's pretty good. That's 3,200 at f1.2. Okay, and we go back here. Now, what's going to happen to my flashes at 3,200? Lose some power, right? Is that the same? Oh, it's not the same. It is the same because I didn't turn the flashes on. If you learn one thing tonight, turn the flashes on. All right, here we go. Beautiful, lovely. Okay,
Joe, they're asking why aren't you using a light meter?
okay. I haven't used a light meter for many, many years, and I feel badly about it. I feel like I should go to confession because I got raised Irish Catholic, and I'm not using yeah, right. You know, bless me, Father, for I have, you know, I don't no longer use a light meter. You know, say 10 Hail Marys. But we have so many tools inside the camera, blinking, you know, blinkies, histogram, all of that stuff. Very accurate LCDs to look at. Tonality range, RGB histogram, etc. That I just don't feel like it's a necessary item for me in my workflow right now.
Technically, he is using a light meter. It's just in the camera,
Well, essentially, yep.
TTL and all that stuff.
Okay, so let's do this. Now I'm going to shut my second the background lights off. Okay.
Joe,
Yes.
we did have an audience question.
An audience question. Yeah. Yes, sir.
The flash sync speed is 1/200th of a second, right? So
Well-
using the high speed flash.
I am high speed sync. Yes. I went beyond the normal boundary of quote unquote normal flash, 200, 250th of a second, that neighborhood. I am now at 3,200 of a second. We cool? We understand?
Explain why you're in high speed sync.
I'm at high speed sync because I went to a wide open f-stop. The whole world is bokeh mad right now, bokeh, you know. So I just thought I'd shoot something to see if there's an essential difference. You know, coming at me from all sides, you know, if there's a difference to the feel of the photograph at 1.2. I'm curious myself, okay? So now I'm going to take this overhead light, because I made a substantial change, I'm going to take my main light down, and that's the only light that's going to fire. Okay, so now I have that back in bounds. Now I can dial in. So that's the thing. If you really disengage from your prior setup, and then you're going to make some significant changes, rebuild the system or the array of lights. So in other words, I shut my side lights off because I only wanted to deal with the main, because I wanted to get recentered. With me? All right. Let's take this down as well. That's pretty nice. That's
Not bad, Joe.
That's reasonable. Okay, gives a little bit of side light on her temples. It's relatively even in terms of that. And let me get something silver underneath of her.
What do you want?
May I?
You want a four or do you want a box?
Either, whatever is handy. Do you know Seth Miranda made a light shaper out of a pizza box?
Do you want the pizza box?
Sure.
Okay, so I spray painted that chrome. That works. I just take this shot.
All right, here we go.
I got it.
Right there. Beautiful. You look absolutely lovely. I haven't paid enough attention to you.
I gotta push a button. Hold on.
Okay.
So if you look here, there's your pizza box.
Just a little bit there. You see that? So it's not affecting the picture over much. When you get a bright catch light, which we might get off of this kind of, Stephanie, your aces. Okay, why don't you hold it? Okay. Beautiful. Lift up. There you go. Beautiful. Lovely. And that has a stronger highlight from below. See that? So kind of a classic beauty shot, basically. A little bit, you know, in that direction.
Classic beauty.
Well, Stephanie is, let's just say this, I've dealt myself an easy hand of cards here, okay? We're having a subject like Stephanie. We doing good here? We doing good? All right, things are getting a little warm, are they not? Okay, all right. That's okay. What's up?
We'll put on the AC.
Okay,
Okay.
are you uncomfortably warm? No, not so bad. Let's leave it alone then. Why don't we leave it
For
alone?
the next 3 days.
Okay.
Uh,
All right. So let's do this. Let's migrate out of this. Thank you very much. You're terrific. Let's migrate out of this as quickly as we can. I'm doing sort of okay on time.
You're right. You know.
Let's move this forward. And let's eliminate the beauty dish. Yep. Stephanie, could you step back, please?
Pull it off or pull the whole light.
Let's just, we can leave the light on the stand, but let's pull it off to the side. And we'll kill this light altogether.
I got it.
You got it?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay, all right. I'll work on the other light. Okay. So you can step up again, please, Stephanie. I'm going to get these lights sighted, and I'm going to ask you to go profile towards the audience. There you go.
I'm gonna kill it.
Trying to observe good C-stand etiquette here. A little bit tight.
It's like tiny bits.
Okay. All right. So now, let me do this. Let me kind of make a mistake. Time ever. You know? It's not really a mistake, but let's do this. I've got 2 lights, and strategic error that I might be making, they're both in the same group, which means I do not have independent ratio control over both the lights. And I just about guarantee you that the rear light here is going to have to dive down in power. So why don't I do that right now? They're both 2C, right? So this is 2C. Oh, awesome. Very wonderful guy.
Yes, that is Daniel Norton out there being weird. And Ronald wants to tell everybody in this room that you should take time to appreciate this humble gift named Joe McNally. Wow, did you pay this guy?
He's just, as I said, he's a really wonderful guy and quite obviously very intuitive. Anyway.
Great taste.
All right. So here we go, Stephanie. So one light is going to go off here. It's not completely oriented towards her. I'm just getting going, by the way. I think the store stays open until 9 o'clock. Teresa back there was like,
9 o'clock is past your bedtime anyway, Joe.
okay, need a little more power, okay, in that light. All right. So that is C group light. Let's do this. Let's hype it up to 6.0. Okay. All right. So now this is a very strong profile picture, right? She's got amazing facial structure, cheekbones, just an awesome profile. So I said I would make a mistake. This isn't necessarily a mistake. It's actually pretty nicely done. But let me now correct this light into a mistake. What? It shouldn't be. Oh, actually, you know, it might. It might be. Can you change that to let's see, we put that one please back to no, put it please to 2A.
Keep shutting it off. You want that on what?
Let's go with 2B over here, if you don't mind. Thank you. And let's keep that one shut off, please.
You shut off your remote. You on?
No, it's not on the remote. But my experience has been sometimes they will fire.
Do it on and off really quick. Whoa. What? Whoa.
This is to A.
Just power it off. Just power it off.
There we go.
This is at 8.7.
Yes. All right, so I'm going to kill that light. And hopefully, after we sorted that out, this will be the only light that will fire. All right. So what I'm trying to show you here, thank you, Stephanie. See that? See the difference? There to there. Which do you like? First one, right? Why? Because of the shadow. So here's something you can take to the bank. Shadows are your friends. Shadows give the human face volume and dimension. Okay? That's what that has. Because the light is behind her. If you have a profile view of someone and say their nose is going this way, the nose is 12 o'clock noon. Don't put the light at 12 noon. Especially don't put the light at 11 o'clock. Put the light at 1 or 2. That means it's slightly behind this median line of their nose, and it means the light is going to traverse this way, hit this cheek, and fall, rotate into shadow, which will give your subject dimension, power, and a little bit more graphic kind of, oomph. Well, not exactly, Sam. Well, Rembrandt tends to be more portrait and confrontational, not so much a profile orientation. So I'm still at 1.2, okay? And that's pretty nice. That actually works, pretty nicely. A little bit brassy, a little bit on the bright side of things. We could take it down to a little more moody. Now, could you, along with the fact that I'm going to dive the light down into a bit of a mood, okay? Could you kind of maybe chin down a little bit, yes, contemplative, yeah, there you go. Beautiful. Okay. Now, let's rotate that a little bit because, see what her chin did? It came towards camera. Let's pull the light around. Can we do that, Seth, if you don't mind? Just right about there. And maybe push in if you don't mind. Sorry to do that to you. Nice. All right, so now this is going to be a little bit brighter. Beautiful. That's lovely. Yeah, and then we're kind of back to a nice balance. Now, let's take this guy and put this guy on to B. Question in the chat.
Someone's asking if you have specular highlights that are too high, how can you bring them down to a level that you like?
Specular highlights, you mean on like skin?
Yeah.
Bigger light source. A bigger light source, a little bit softer, a little bit more wrap, essentially. Okay. Or, with something that is gone kind of out of vogue, but an indirect softbox. Anybody here know that these are direct softboxes where the flash head is pointed right towards the diffuser. There is an animal in this wild, landscape of photography called an indirect softbox, which I found to be very wrapping, very soft, and it eases up on skin highlights. Okay. Sure, same facial expression. Beautiful. Now we have the backlight going off. And that's, what do you think of the power of that? Pretty appropriate? You don't want to overplay that, right? You don't want to overplay it and have, just too much attention being drawn back to her neck. Now, let's see. Yeah, and there actually is detail up at her hair. Here's another thing that you can do if you so wished. You could, that's the beauty of a C-stand, you could jack that light up and pitch it overhead. Say someone had lots of big volume to their hair and the light is dying, it's just staying back here. You can take the C-stand up, pitch, and take one of these 1x4s or a 1x3 and put it more overhead so you continue the highlight from this amazing hair, etc. But right now, her hair is really tight and styled, and so the light is doing a pretty good job covering that highlight, or highlighting that area. Cool? Yes?
In the prior frame, did the light not fire?
backlight?
And this way, I had it purposely off.
Okay.
Yep. And then I turned it on, you know. Yeah, you can easily lose control of a background light. Here's the best definition of a fill light that I've ever heard. It's a light that you don't really notice until you shut it off. Said it 1,000 times. Okay, once you kill the fill light, the photograph loses some dimensionality, a little bit of luster is gone. That's the role it should be playing. Okay, when you push a fill light too hard, it becomes competitive with the main, and then it's no longer a fill.
So someone is asking about the highlights question. Would a polarizer help with specular highlights? It would be a global.
It would be a pull down globally. And I honestly don't think that's a good solution. I have found with polarizers, and polarizer technology has certainly advanced, but I have found with polarizers, I tend not to like polarizers as they relate to skin tones. So, all right, let's do this. Okay, you all right? Now, I'm going to put this guy over here, and I'm going to shut the power off. All right, so everything's dead on the set. I'm going to ask Stephanie to step over here and just kind of maybe look at me. Camera's going to be sort of this way a bit, but you can maybe look back at me this way, okay? All right. Yeah, something like that could be kind of cool. All right, so I try to make sure everything else is off on the set, except hopefully a couple of lights up in here. Let's just see what happens. Yeah, there you go. Thank you. Pull that drawer out. Yep, there we go. Thank you. All right. So I planted a few lights with gels out there. And Seth told me, he said, somebody's going to push that drawer in.
This is like when Julia Childs has like the turkey already done in the oven.
All right, here we go. That's really lovely. Okay. All right, so I'm going to ease up on my shutter speed because I know it's affecting the power of my lights.
If you want, Joe, I can put on the tubes to make it cooler in there.
Cool, cool. Yeah, perfect. I'm going to keep testing here. Just take a quick look.
You guys on the side, watch your eyes.
All right. So I went from 3,200 to 1,000th of a second. I'm still at 1.2. So there's the result at 3,200. There's the result at a 1,000th of a second at 1.2, ISO 200. Turning the store, like, let's face it, looking this way, I love Adorama, okay? But let's describe this as a jumbled graphical environment, okay? Not exactly a sylvan scene at dawn with trees and mist, okay? And so my main aim right now at f1.2 is to make sure the Sony and the Canon signs are blurred out. And so, which I've done relatively effectively, okay? So now I'm gonna take my C group lights here and I'm gonna pop them. Those lights in the background are A2s. I call them the soda can light. They're 100 watt seconds a piece. Very light, very, very helpful, you know, nicely compact, if you will, easy to carry. So now I've got them full out at 100 watt seconds. Let's see what they do. Does anybody like that? Does anybody like the little bit of flair or something like that? You got a little bit of creative control going on here. That's kind of getting to be sort of kind of fun. All right. And now, okay, what I'd like to do is take a, actually probably should take one of those lights from the background. I'm talking to myself kind of, you know. Here's the thing we can do. Okay.
Lights.
How difficult would it be to get a 1x3?
Oh, really, really hard, Joe. Really hard.
You know?
Hold on, I'm still working on it.
All right.
Whose house are we in, Joe? Come on.
No, I know. I love to come down here because Seth has the most toys. He also has the toys pretty much before anybody else has the toys, given his position here at Adorama. Now, okay, another advantage of a C-stand. All right, I'm going to take this guy carefully. You're enormously patient with me, Seth. Could you step back a little bit for me? Thanks. So if you notice, the soft boxes I'm using and the beauty dish all have grids. I'm a big fan of grids. It gives you a lot of control over how the light spills, where it goes, where it doesn't go. I'm also using the leading leg of the C-stands. That's your bearing leg. So you try to keep your subject safe. Okay. Can you give me that look, give the look to camera again? All right, I'm going to try to orient this light. Cool. This guy. Yes, I see that. Thank you, Sandy. All right, so this is 2B. All right, good enough. All right, 2B. Now, don't have to really pose too much for this because this is kind of, it's kind of a test shot. I'm going to see what this light does here. Beautiful. Okay, so too bright for sure. Let's take it down. Lovely. Okay. I'm going to take it a little more down. Now, Stephanie, could you sort of amplify your range, your stature, maybe put hands on hips, kind of, and look at me, kind of like, you familiar with the way De Niro looked back in Taxi Driver when he looked at the guys and said, "You talking to me?" Okay. There's nobody else here. I know this is a generational conflict. I'm aware.
That was pressure.
All right. All right. So I want you to give me kind of like a, yeah. All right. That's, holy shit, she does that well. Sorry. I said a bad word right on the stream, and it's going to live forever, just like an empty plastic bottle of water in a landfill, right?
I'm not paying you to stand there. Let's go.
All right. All right. Okay. All right. Same kind of attitude, if you will. That's awesome. Take care. That's beautiful. Okay. Now I'm going to, let's see, I'm going to try to find a spot where I can get low and that overhead light is really blocked. Okay. That's pretty nice. Right about there. Beautiful. Beautiful. Chin up just a tiny bit. Awesome. That's a pretty nice picture.
Oh, yeah.
That's a pretty nice picture. And here's the thing. I am relying on her. Like, this is more her excellence than anything I'm doing, right? Could you take your watch off?
Yes.
Thank you.
One thing, you got that light going right through it.
I know. That's all right.
Can I
It's just,
kill it? I'm gonna kill it.
can you kill it?
I don't know, Joe. Can I?
All right. All right.
Go get it.
Okay. So now let's do this. A little more attitude, please. Right? Fantastic. That's absolutely awesome. You're gonna back up, get your elbows in the picture. That's great. Perfect. Okay, and now, of course, I got myself out of the backlight. I don't have the model lamps on up there. Let me put that on. Cool, cool. Way to go, Stephanie. Absolutely lovely. Okay, now, okay, probably have to put a little more juice in the main light, but I'm going to leave that alone for now. Got a little scallop of the gel on her jawbone over here. But let me take, and so those are C groups. This is B. Let me put up a 2A light as a 1x4. And do we have any gels handy for the bigger lights?
Yeah, what do you want?
Anything really, just kind of a maybe a red or a green, maybe a green. If you have a green or something like that.
I don't know. I might have some.
And I'll put this over here. Okay.
There you go.
Yeah,
You want
nice.
some toxic or what?
No, I think toxicity is fine right there. That's a good level. Yeah. I'm gonna swing this behind you, Stephanie. Yes. What? Master wishes to put the light here today. Yes. Okay.
What do you want, Joe?
I'm just gonna gel this guy. All right.
Because
And-
he wants gel rub.
And this is 2A. Are you guys having fun? Is this going in a good direction? All right. You know, just kind of like I'm experimenting on the fly here. I had no idea I was going to do this before I actually did it. So,
Yeah,
you know.
those lights just were out there for no reason, right, Joe?
well, I knew I was going to do colors and backlights,
Come on.
but I didn't know I was going to try this up here with Stephanie. All right. Now, okay, good shoulders. All right. Good volume, dimension. That's nice. Okay. Oh, that's super. That's fantastic. Okay. Now I know I've got that in the picture, but I think there is a possibility that this is actually going to work out reasonably well as a photograph. And I'm pretty hard on myself, actually. You know, like if I say I think it's going to work out, I actually get kind of excited because there's so many things I've shot that have not worked out.
Put under that.
What? I mean, has anybody here ever made a mistake with a camera in hand? Yep. I mean, that's the thing about this. The beautiful thing about this is you get to do it again. I mean, I've shot real garbage in my life. I've lost clients. I've had to do reshoots. I've shot a fair number of good pictures along the way too. But any photographer who tells you that every time they take a camera in hand, the bluebirds are on their shoulders and the angels are singing is lying to you, because we shoot far more garbage than we ever do good photographs. So if you fail, take heart in that, because failure is a form of progress. Okay? If you're not failing, you're not trying. So do not get discouraged. Keep pushing it. Okay? It's the only way to get better at this.
So someone in the chat's asking why he has to take the watch off.
Because it was a graphical break in her arm. Her skin is very beautiful. And it was actually a shiny element that drew attention down this way, away from her face. So I want all the attention going up into here, right?
Into heat.
Yeah. Oh, God. You know.
Don't mind me, Joe.
Don't mind me, Stephanie. I tell you.
Joe, the
No.
chat wants you to know you've been away for too long.
Oh, that's very nice of them to say. You know, Adorama, are you listening?
Oh, please. I try to book you all the time. You're like, oh, I'm on my way to Ecuador right now. I can't be bothered.
All right, that's a beautiful pose. That's absolutely lovely. Gorgeous. Okay, bring that other arm up so we get a triangle out of that elbow. Okay.
Forward.
Show me. Yeah, yeah, like that, please. Okay, now this light here feels pretty good. I think what I'm doing now is because her shadow side of her face is a little on the darker side. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull this light here, and on the set, you'll hear this referred to as wrapping the light. I'm wrapping it around her a little bit more. Okay, and 2A, 2B. All right, I'm going to put a little more juice in that light. All right, here we go. Oh, that's spectacular. That is absolutely spectacular. You look amazing. Okay, and I lost my, hang on. Let's try again. Oh, okay. All right. Come in here, come back. Every time you back off, because I'm trying to get a little more, hey, could we put her on an apple box?
Yeah. What do you want to do? I told
I think either a full or a half will work fine.
you want to lay it down flat. Or you want to go?
Lay it down flat. Yep. Okay. All right. So let's scooch that apple box over just a little bit this way. Yep. Okay. Fantastic. Now this light.
Why the apple box?
Sorry. Why the apple box? Because I'm struggling a little bit to block my strobes in the background, and I'm having to play kind of hide and seek with them. So I am moving her up into it so she blocks one of the lights that's in the middle of the truss up there. That is an effective, tactic. Use your subject as a blocker, right? If there's stuff in the background, put them in front of it. At f1.2, you're never going to know what is in the background anyway. Do you know, looking at this picture, do you know that's Adorama?
Oh, no.
Not really. If you weren't schooled, and I'm kind of digging it. I'm glad we went in this direction.
Hey, Joe,
Yes.
how are you shooting at 1.2 and being that clear? How is it that clear at 1.2?
Well, it's a great lens. To be honest. I back up. Sorry. Oh God, you didn't have to do that, man. That was nasty.
I miss tired Joe,
So it's got just a superior modern technology application. They updated it, they improved it, and so yes, if I was shooting this with a lens that I had 20 years ago, I got flare everywhere. Okay, but the modern lenses again are a gift.
So is that a 105?
This is a 35 millimeter. Yeah, it's 35.
I have a question.
Yes, camera question.
Yeah, so someone's just commenting on how you work with your subject and how you're great with communication, but have you ever had to work with a subject that didn't speak the same language as you?
Yes.
Or couldn't hear you?
Okay, I've worked with lots of folks who we can't communicate verbally because we don't speak the same language. You can go so far with a smile and body language. People can tell what's in your head and your heart. If you approach them sincerely, people got a really good, I won't say a BS meter, and they can tell, So I've been to about 75 countries. So I have encountered lots of folks who I couldn't really communicate verbally with. Okay, but you can really, really make it work, And what was the last half of that?
They can't hear you at all.
If they can't hear me. Again, body language. I did a story for National Geographic. The biggest cover story I ever shot for Geographic was called The Sense of Sight. And I was dealing with folks who were visually impaired. And I was very nervous up front because I thought to myself, these folks can't see you. So you have to be really careful about not taking advantage of them or not exploiting that. But I found education. I found that folks who are visually impaired, some totally blind, were more aware of me than a sighted person. sense of hearing was incredibly acute. They could tell where I was. There was just this amazing sort of touch with the world in lieu of this very precious gift that we have. It was an amazing experience, and it altered my viewpoint on how I treat subjects literally forever, you know? Yes? Those lights there, no, they do not have grids on them. They're just full bore, just blowing the living daylights out of them. Well, I was just saying the modern lenses have coatings, and I'm using also my lens shade. Seth doesn't use lens shades too much, right? But I use my lens shades. I don't know. I think it helps the lens in terms of if there's light scatter, you know? And so I don't really fear flare the way I used to. So I'm actually sort of encouraging it in this. Let me do something. All right. Stephanie, you're being super patient. I super appreciate it. It's amazing. Okay. All right. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Awesome. And I have a little bit of my soft. All right. So there, my lights are gone there. Do you like it as much? I don't. I don't. So, and also now, give a little, get a little, right? I put her up higher. Now I got this Seth Miranda light box up in here. Okay, can we kill those? No, we can't kill those.
You don't gotta be. You want to get rid of those?
Yeah, can you? Isn't it amazing? How about a round of applause for Seth Miranda? Also, I just killed the quality of the live stream. Did I do that?
It also makes it cooler.
All right. So I'm going to put those lights back in. All right, here we go. Fantastic, amazing, wonderful, beyond exceptional. Okay. Shift this way. Cool. Cool. There we go. That's pretty nice, folks. That's pretty nice. I mean, I got to, you know, bits and pieces are wrong here. Let's, you know, the part of my softbox in the picture, that's generally a no-no. But I can open this up a little bit. Does anybody like the quality of light that's coming at her from below? I think it's a little bit different. Light has a language. Light that comes from below someone's chin line, okay, has a certain language. It speaks to a little bit of evil, maybe, or, you know, kind of, you know, mysterious. Yes, yes, noir, that kind of thing, you know, for sure. So, yes, I'm not doing her favors, really. I'm not doing her any favors because, generally speaking, you don't want to bring a light from below somebody's chin in a flattering way. But she's so amazing in front of camera, I could light her with a car headlight, and she's going to look great, okay? So, yeah. So let's do this. We got those back on. This is exciting. All right, fantastic. You look great. You look great. Okay. All right. You're starting to edge a little bit from attitude into boredom. So let's animate a little bit. Okay. All right. Here we go. Cool. All right. Yeah, there we go. Yeah. All right. You moved your head there. That's perfect. That's good. Okay. All right. Strong. Maybe fold your arms. Let's see what happens there. Fold your arms. Now let's see what the low light does to those arms. You have to be careful when you bring. Not too bad. Not too bad. I'm above her arms. Be careful if you bring a low fill from somebody and they've got their arms across their stomach or something like that. The forearms can get heated up, and that's going to be not a great thing, right? Okay. How am I doing? How am I doing? Oh, it's 6 o'clock. Okay. All right. All right. No, I'm just having a great time. So, all right. So, does anybody think that the green is a little too much? Take it down a little bit. Tiny bit, tiny bit. Okay. All right, here we go. Let's try again. That's awesome. You're amazing. Fantastic.
That's tight. That's tight.
Yeah, it's kind of nice. Kind of a nice. Is anybody liking the blue flare over her shoulder? Kind of cool. Kind of cool.
This green looks motivated from over
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. You know, the green is motivated from over there. I'm all about motivation. I'm all about the happy accident, right? Because happy accidents and difficult accidents occur when you try stuff. Yes, sir.
Have to determine the angle that.
These lights here, how did I determine the angle?
Yeah, like where you're pointing.
I didn't. I put them back there about an hour before this started. And I just kind of pointed them in the general direction of the stage. So there's absolutely no science to that whatsoever. Yes, that's because I had to put it on a shelf and I was afraid it would roll off. So the lights kicked up. You know, I mean, I accept the gifts the location gives me as well as the difficulties, right? The location is its own lesson and forces you in certain directions. Sometimes they're not happy directions. Okay, you make a bargain with the location sometimes. I mean, when was the last time you were on this amazingly beautiful location and there was amazing light and the people were incredibly friendly and they gave you all the time in the world? Has anybody ever, has that happened to anybody ever? What is the, you know, oh, you'll have an hour with the bride, which turns into 5 minutes. And we still believe it. Because we so love doing this, we're willing to buy swampland in Florida because somebody will tell us, oh, you'll have plenty of time. That's ridiculous. We never have enough time. Time is the enemy of all photographers, you know? I'm getting worked up here, you know?
Getting passionate.
Yeah, yeah. High five. You're amazing. How about a round of applause for her? She's not only looks incredibly beautiful, she's put up with me, okay? Can I do a couple more? Just a couple more, and then,
The floor is yours, McNally.
okay, here we go. Oh, I'm glad we did this. All right, let's see. Let's do one more like this, and then I'll just make small adjustment, and that's, and then we'll see what that looks like. Okay, that's a great look. I did like volume to your, oh, that's perfect. That's perfect. Great look. Look up again like you were, like, that's it. That's it. Beautiful. That's wonderful. Fantastic. Okay, and now just give me something with your hands, your arms, something. Okay, there you go. There you go. That's lovely. That's lovely. Fantastic. Beautiful. All right. Now, last thing, adjustment. This light, the main light, if you will, is coming at her from low and has a certain language. Let's do this. Now the light is a more, quote unquote, traditional position. You might notice strip light, fantastic lights. They are probably my favorite lights to work with because you can put an elongated line of light along the body, but you can also twist it. You know, you can turn it and go horizontal with it so the light doesn't fall down the body. It goes across the shoulders, which is what's happening here. That's fantastic. Please stay there. Stay there. Don't move. Please don't move. All right, I know I have that backlight back. Does anybody like that flare? Is it too much? Beautiful. Now, do you like the attitude of the above light, or did you like the attitude of the light when it was low? Lower, yeah, okay. All right, let me put a little pop into that. That's, keep that, please, keep that. Awesome. That's pretty nice. Can you pivot your left shoulder towards camera, please? Bring your, yeah, there you go. Keep going, right there. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful.
The chat's saying the lower light, Joe.
They like the lower light. Okay. All right. So let me flip back to the lower light. We'll do a few more frames and then we're done.
Relax.
All right. No, I'm just get wired up because watch yourself, Stephanie.
Now you're gonna be up all night and never gonna get to sleep. You're gonna call me. Right, do you need it?
All right. Cool. Fantastic. You look great. Yeah. Yep, they're right. Lower light is the winner. Lower light is the winner. That's yeah. You need that. Yes, you will receive it. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's what I want. Villainess. Okay, out of you right now. I'm not. You're the person that's being chased by Tom Cruise in Mission Impossible because you're carrying an atomic bomb that will destroy half the world. All right, here we go. Okay. Yes, you're looking at me deciding exactly how I'm going to die. Beautiful. Nice. Yeah. No, it's true. It's true. Yeah. Like Sean Connery in Goldfinger with Ernst Stavro Blofeld. Do you expect me to talk? No, Mr. Bond, I expect you to die. Also generational. I apologize. All right, gang. That's a lovely photograph. It really is. And she just did a great job. She's beyond beautiful, beyond patient. How about a round of applause for Stephanie? Thank you. All done. All done. Okay. All right. Here, you don't worry about that.
Your QR code.
Yes. Thank you very much. Okay. So once again, Seth always reminds me.
Always be plugging.
Okay. Take a picture of that, please. Take a picture of that. All right. So this is what I do online on the site. It's just about as frenetic and weird and helpful and fun as hopefully tonight was. Everybody enjoy themselves? Is it good? Good. Well, thank you, Teresa Raffetto in the background there. Daniel Norton. Thank Daniel Norton, even though he didn't do squat. Let's thank him anyway. Thank you, Adorama. Thank you, Merev, even though she wasn't involved either, but she's an amazingly wonderful person. And thanks to this guy. He's, the thing I appreciate about Seth is he's a younger photographer who reveres the roots of where we came from. So many photographers nowadays, they just have no idea. I realize I'm maybe edging onto thin ice here, but there's a thing that Seth reveres, and that's kind of the language we speak, the places we came from, and the importance of this. And I really appreciate that about him and what he brings to Adorama and what he brings to this space, which this space is all about you, okay? Keep showing up because this kind of learning happens here all the time. And Daniel is here all the time. And as I always say about Daniel has forgotten more about lighting than I'll ever know. Okay? So key into this guy, right? You have resources here. Key into this guy, right? It's there for you. All right?
Thank you, Joe.
Yes, sir.